Alright, legendary items in Diablo 4 late game suck. They are completely and very, very close to being completely unusable. And I'm not talking about the aspects. We all know that by reaching the 8th game in Diablo 4, you will most probably have max roll on every single aspect. For instance, here I have max roll of damage reduction, here I have max roll of armor, here I have almost max roll of the duration of the immobilize that is caused by debilitating roll. I'm talking about the fact that late game, what you're trying to do is to get the best stats for your guild. And the legendary items are horrible when it comes to it. Now, in the beginning of the game, the legendary items are extremely impactful. You want to get as many as possible, so every single time when something drops, you're excited. This thing is kind of the same mid-game, but late game, it is completely the opposite. Every single time when you get a rare piece, and you see that's the rare piece for a specific slot that you want to improve, you're excited. Every single time when you see a legendary piece, you're not that excited, to say the least. What is the reason for that? One of the reasons, actually the main reason, is the fact that if you want to enchant a legendary item, it is extremely expensive, to a point where it's not really even worth doing that. For instance, I don't want to get willpower on my weapon, but next time, if I want to enchant, it's going to cost me 1.5 million gold, which is ridiculous. If I want to enchant the ring, look at this. If I want to enchant the ring, it's going to cost me 7 million gold. If I want to enchant the other ring, it's going to cost me 775k. Oh my god, it's almost free. What I'm trying to say is that the price you have to pay between an ancestral legendary and an ancestral rare is completely different. So in a way, legendary pieces come from a place where they're extremely useful until we reach late game, when they are worthless, almost worthless. Because even if I get an amulet, that's pretty cool. It might take me tens of millions of gold, to get it to a place where it's going to be perfect. Well, if I roll the same amulet but a rare one, it will probably cost me 3 or 4 times cheaper, to get it to a place where I would really use it. So if you're a casual player that doesn't have millions of gold, for instance, I'm constantly respecting stuff like this, so currently I don't have a lot of gold, and if this is the case for you, then getting this particular amulet, let's say this particular amulet is close to being perfect, but you have to reroll a single stat, you will definitely prefer to have it in a rare shape, let's call it that way, because it's going to be much cheaper, and thus it will increase your chances to finally get the perfect amulet for your build. Now, I understand why they decided to do that, but in my opinion, this is too much. What they can possibly do is to make sure that if you get an ancestral legendary piece, it should never have the, let's say, the lowest possible roll. This is the way you can kind of improve that. Because once again, for me, this is a problem, because every single time when I get a drop of legendary, I don't care. I was like annoyed, oh my god, another legendary, so I have to scrap it, stuff like this. But every single time when I get a rare piece, an accessory piece, especially for a slot that I require, I feel great. Or let's say, I feel intrigued, I want to see what that thing is. Because I know there is much higher chance in order for me to make sure that I will get the best item, right? For one thing, the legendaries are hard to find. And even if you find kind of good one, you have to spend tons of gold, to try to get it to a place where it's going to become perfect. But in the general case, it's much easier to do it with a gold. With a rare piece. So at the end of the day, I hope they're going to buff it. Once again, one of the possible ways to do that is to make sure that the ancestral legendaries only drop from, let's say, midway all the way to max roll. So, for instance, I have 4.6 to 10.9 willpower. So the absolute minimum roll for the willpower on a legendary ancestral, should be something like 7 or 8. It cannot be 4.6, it cannot be 5, it cannot be 6. It should start from 7. So in a way, I have better chance to find, generally speaking, better chance to find ancestral legendary that has high rolls. This is the only thing that I can think about it at this point. Please let me know how do you feel about it, because quite frankly, I'm very annoyed by the whole thing. So I really hope they're going to fix that. To me, a lot of legendaries feel totally worthless, and that's the thing. When you reach late game, they simply become annoying. And I don't know about you guys, but I find that to be not right. It doesn't feel right. See you next time, guys. Take care.
Perfect.